Welcome everybody to the Delco Nerd Network Hot Takes. What is a hot take, you may ask? Well, it's where we like to get a little more specific here at the network. We talk about a movie or a game. This month's movie is It. Stephen King's It. Joining me today is our other hosts, Joey Farrell, Tim Appleby. Welcome, boys.
Welcome. How you doing?
Thank you, guys.
I'm good.
Thank you, Gooch, who's joining us right here.
He's in the technical seat per usual.
Producer Baba Booey Gucci.
Baba Booey.
Hey guys.
That's the new nickname.
Hey.
That's it.
This is
Baba Booey Gooch coming at you live.
Baba Gooch.
This is one of the first, not one of the first, but this is like, it's one of the first hot takes that we've all experienced it together since like what, Guardians?
I think so.
Yeah, because you guys saw Guardians together.
Yeah.
But ever since then, it's always been like us concept. We all went yesterday to see it.
It's a nice little change up too. We're giving a little horror around here instead.
I'm a little horror
I was
guy.
very excited for this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I saw. Did you guys see the original It?
No,
the miniseries.
Now that I've seen it, though,
movie.
I do want to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the watch. I watched it like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It's not really scary anymore,
Right,
obviously,
yeah.
because like the
It
effects are so
Yeah.
old timey, but at the same time they're pretty good. I gotta give it to them for like the time that they're made in, obviously. But Tim Curry's awesome.
Yeah, Tim
it's
Curry's
a
great.
little. I gotta say, the aesthetic they go for Pennywise in this one, I'm a lot more game for than they were in the '90s. Because he's like an 18th century, like Victorian type clown.
Yeah.
But where in the '90s one, he was just like a
Normal clown.
normal looking like clown.
Yeah, I think they both have their perks.
Totally.
There's something scary about something being normal. Because from the beginning, Pennywise looks like scary.
Totally.
But the old Pennywise, it's, this is like a normal clown, and then it's scary. But yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to both sides.
Well,
I like new Pennywise too.
I will say, even in the first scene where Georgie talks to him in the grate, in the '90s series, it made me laugh a little bit when he first started talking. He's like, "Hiya, Georgie!" Like it's such a different voice. He's got like this raspy, but I like what Skarsgård went for.
Yeah,
in this.
and I like the voice. I honestly still found the voice kind of funny too, though.
Oh, totally.
But it was
yeah.
never at the sacrifice of it being scary. It was always just like, okay, that's like a funny thing you just
Yeah,
said.
exactly.
No, it was like it got me it got me scared in the way that I was worried for the rest of the movie after at that point.
Yeah.
Because it was like just really jarring. Because you don't see the Pennywise talking in the trailers at all.
No.
So like
that's
as
really
soon
not.
as like the first interaction you see with Pennywise is he's just like talking to this kid, and I'm just like, all right,
That's
just
actually really
interviewed.
funny. I didn't even think
Like,
about
yeah.
that. And also, I feel like a lot of horror movies, when it comes to like monster movies and stuff, you don't get a lot of
you don't interact
monster
with
talking.
the monster.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask that to you guys. How do you feel that we see him a lot straight off the bat in the beginning here?
Yeah.
That's not really normal, like you guys just said.
It's
for
just a
horror movie.
weird. It's not a normal way that you set up the horror, the antagonist in a horror movie.
Yeah, most
Like,
horror movies, it's the first half hour is boring nothingness, and then it gets scary.
Right.
And it really
you
just
have
jumps
the
right
box
in.
So I'm really
opens up.
glad that
Here
they
it's just like they
didn't-
open up the box like.
And
right
that
off
kind of
the
leans
bat,
more into
yeah.
like how they were kind of going for also like a fantasy dark adventure story,
And they
more
really
so than even just
committed
strict
to it,
horror.
yeah.
So you can have the problem there from the beginning because it's also this adventure story.
Yeah. And oh, dude, I did not. In the original one, they don't show you Georgie's arm getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Or anything.
That's what I heard.
That was
And
when
that
I was
was
like,
like,
okay. Yeah.
I was like, even today, I was like getting there. I'm like, are they gonna really show like him just getting his arm ripped off and everything? And
Yeah.
they fucking showed him getting his arm ripped off.
I wasn't too crazy about the effect.
It wasn't
moment.
amazing. Yeah.
But what I did like was after he's gone and there's still the blood in the rainwater. That I was like, hey, that's a really good.
Don't worry, as far as spoilers too, this happens in like the first 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Oh yeah, that's literally.
And
the
if
first
we do
second.
start to get to spoiler territory, we will give you a heads up.
Yeah.
I think the way that the Pennywise's mouth morphs and his whole face
Yeah.
contorts,
Dude,
like
it's
in that
like-
first scene.
I-
That was when I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
this is
god!
happening.
It was like I don't even know how to describe it.
It was
Razor blades or something like
yeah.
the way he
like shark
chomped
teeth,
down.
like-
but it's
yeah.
like multiple rows. Dude, they really did something cool. And one other thing I really did like was honestly, I didn't even realize this, how tall Skarsgård was in the whole movie. Like that really made him even more like threatening. You had these really super long legs in his thing, and he'd just be sitting there. And I was like, I looked up, I was like, is he really that tall, or did they just do that in movie effects?
Yeah.
No, that's all him. He's like
Seriously?
6'3".
That's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
perfect.
Damn.
Yeah.
So and
That's
especially when the
making,
rest of the
like-
cast is like, you know,
Kids.
12,
Just
13,
kids.
14-year-old kids.
Oh
like,
my god!
yeah.
Even like there's one part where Pennywise grabs Deb out of nowhere, or Bev. Sorry, and you
You're
see
thinking
him
Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's and his.
Which is, I mean, with this, there's a lot of
It's
similar
very
vibes.
yeah, totally. And I'm looking at him in the door frame. I'm like, oh my god, he's like about to fucking hit the door frame with his head.
Yeah.
Another thing he can do, which I thought was really cool. You ever notice how his eyes go in two different directions?
Oh yeah, he goes look. Like,
That's all him. They
No
wanted to,
way.
Yeah, they wanted to do that CGI, but he was like, "Oh no, I can just do that." And
Yeah.
he could, and he made his eyes go
Wow.
two separate ways. Dude, they found the right guy.
That
for
was
this.
that
They
was
really,
the perfect guy, man.
Because-
And it's funny, like I was just telling Joey in the car, like when I looked up this guy, like Skarsgård,
Yeah.
he just looks like some normal ass dude.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah, he doesn't look like
he does
it.
not look like the clown. So I think that how he was able to pull that off, and like dude, it's actually brilliant. Like
It was really
it gave
good.
a whole new respect to that character.
Definitely.
But even moving on from just Pennywise, the kids in this movie steal the show for me.
Oh, it was
a lot
good.
of the way.
It was good.
Like they really, the repertoire between all of them, I thought was really well done.
The banter and like the relationships that they have.
Yeah, there was one I felt like didn't get his due as much. It was Mike Hanlon, which
Who did he play?
it was the only black kid.
Oh, okay.
He was, and it kind of in the original series. See, I don't know what worked, but he was the big historian dude in the original series and stuff like that.
instead of
So
Henry.
I don't know how much they stayed true and how much the other one didn't, because I
Yeah.
know this was apparently a very true to the book remake, whereas the original couldn't be as much because like you just couldn't show as much gore or anything.
I have heard
like
there's
that.
a lot of things they left out from the book, but that's also just, I mean, when you make a movie based off of a book, you have to leave a lot of stuff out. Lengthwise,
Right.
just doesn't work. But yeah, I would agree with that. I thought he got a little bit, but there definitely could have been more, especially the stuff with like his father talking to him and like what he
Totally,
says.
yeah.
Probably could have gone more into that.
That's true. They did kind of elaborate on him
yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
really
think about
only
that.
one scene with Mike and his father, and like the issues that
That-
he was facing. And like I do also, I guess I'll take a moment to like kind of I don't know how to say this, like guess on like the overall theme. I think it's pretty obvious. It's like about facing your fears. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Like-
totally it.
So each kid in the group had like was fighting their own battles or had their own like particular fear, and then this feared clown Pennywise was able to
Extrapolate on that.
exactly
Yeah.
extract
and,
that fear and capitalize on what they're afraid of. And,
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just watch out for spoilers. If you just see the movie, it's a good scary time. And I don't think I'm not a horror guy in the way of like, God, I want to just go see someone get chopped up, like Saw, all that stuff. I like a good story with some scares, some nice intense moments, and that's what I got.
Even without like the horror, even without like the scary scenes
Yeah.
and like the amazing like effects that they do, this was just a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
like a good movie.
You could
Like,
take the clown
yeah.
out, and I think the kids would have still made a cool,
Yeah,
like funny,
yeah.
interesting movie.
I would say, not to cut you off, but I would say, like, since we're getting into spoilers, just a quick little recommendation. I'd say, yeah, if you haven't seen or read the original, definitely, because I mean it's practically new to you at that.
Totally,
point.
yeah.
If you like Stranger Things, go for it. Honestly,
Oh,
it gave me a lot of
100%,
Stranger
like
Things
Stand
vibes,
By
yeah.
Me vibes.
It
like,
is such a nice, just dark fantasy adventure, like whatever thing with horror elements to it.
Right, and there's like that
And all the
one
80s
actor. What was
Yeah,
his
the
name?
one kid
who plays the main dude. Richie. Oh yeah, from Stanley. No. Give me one second. Richie.
forget
No,
which
it is
one it
Richie.
was.
You're right.
Yeah,
he was
Richie
really
Tozier. Oh yeah, Finn Wolfhard. Wolfhand. He's
Yeah.
from Stranger Things.
Yeah, super funny.
So good, and I do like that they. This was originally supposed to be set in the 50s in the book. They moved it to the 80s.
Yeah.
And I love that because they could get away with the kids. Like they curse a lot. They don't
Yeah.
give the way that just Finn just keeps making penis length jokes all the time. It's just hilarious. There's some
it's
good
really
ones.
Funny. Just think about like your 12-year-old kids like, cracking all these.
Oh, totally.
And I think
Raunchy
even
ass
if you have read or seen like the original TV movie or the book, like still check it out.
Dude, I
see
heard
what
there's
they
some
did
good-
different
yeah.
and like what works and what doesn't. Because like just recently, not to get too sidetracked, just recently I watched the live action Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson, and it wasn't the best movie, but it was cool to see what they did differently from the original. I love the original movie, so it's cool. Definitely check it out.
Also,
It's good.
I gotta say, the guy who plays Bill, the leader, the lead kid that lost his brother Georgie,
Yeah.
freaking kills it, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like with his, he does the, like his stutter, and
Which
he just
that
plays
is
on it.
like honestly, I think like characters in movies or TV shows stuttering is like one of the easiest ways to just like get my sympathy.
I agree.
Automatically, I feel, it's like
especially if it sounds very well done, like you're nailing it. Like
I would hate it though.
And you can see it's just growing because of like he feels responsible for what he did to Georgie. But yeah.
And you also get that cool moment that almost every movie or show that has someone who stutters in it, you get that moment where something they're so passionate about causes them to not stutter.
And then someone's like, dude, he didn't even stutter. Like,
yeah, he's like talking about his little brother, and he gets that moment of not stuttering. So, yeah, I like it. I think it's a cool setup for that.
One thing I will kind of pick at, and I'm being picky, is that I felt like a lot of the children's scare scenes got a little, I don't want to say samey, but, like, it was kind of him running at them and scaring them.
Yeah.
But even, like, they were... dude, when he's messing with Bill and he runs at him out of the water and he just slams his head on the staircase and then slides back, I think he does a really good job with just his body work and movement. The way he moves as Pennywise.
Definitely.
It's creepy as hell,
Yeah, we were also just talking about the one... Also, just big spoiler.
Yeah, we're in spoilers. At this point,
we're in spoiler
We're
waters.
definitely in spoiler.
Go see it because it definitely gets, I think, all of our approval.
Yeah.
But
I will say I don't think it's like the best. It's not the kind of movie that I was really thinking that much about afterwards. But it's for sitting down and having a good time watching a movie. It was that for me, and I liked it.
I think it was more. I think I'm not a huge horror movie guy, so like take everything with. A
grain of salt. Yeah.
But I thought it was just great. Like, as far as horror movies go, it wasn't one of those that just kind of, wanted to give you that scare and then just, not make you not able to look into a mirror for that night.
It's true.
Like one of those kind of movies. This was just actually a good movie.
It's a good blood rush. Like
a lot of good comedic relief throughout.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean, even just Pennywise, he's like comedic relief in weird ways. So, dude, there's like one part, Bowers, the bully's getting beat up.
Yeah.
And he looks over in the bushes, and Pennywise is sitting there eating a hand, and he waves at him. And I'm like, I don't know if I should laugh or be afraid at this. Like, what is going on?
That was a lot of because that was actually what Tim was going to bring up too. Was the one part that we loved was this. I mean, we're in spoiler territory. We already said that. Near the end, when you see him like in the sewer and he's doing that dance, he's doing that jig, but it's motion tracked to his face. So it's in the center of the screen and the body's going like side to side under it. Like that is the perfect mix of like playful and creepy.
It is,
and just unsettling.
And the way he like jumps out at her, it's interesting because Pennywise, like, that's just its favorite form. Is the thing. It's like that's not even like his actual form. He transforms into whatever. Like we said, your greatest fear is, and dude,
theory. What if like whatever Pennywise is, how he became the clown or something had to do with clowns, and that's actually its own biggest fear, and that's why it chooses to portray itself.
I can see that because clowns are representative of joy, which is the opposite of what.
Right.
I think that's just that's a good theory, and I like it. Sadly, I kind of know where it's going when I know, but that is a good idea. But whereas like Pennywise is really just like that's the thing that he found out that draws in the most kids. Like even in the like how he's in the series, like you smell the popcorn and the hot dogs and that's how he kind of gets people and he has the most fun being Pennywise.
Someone did point out, I was reading online, someone pointed out, I forget where I was reading it, but someone pointed out that when it is talking to Georgie in the sewer, there's that moment where he's going like pop, pop, and Georgie starts laughing, and it's just genuinely really happy.
Exactly.
And then Pennywise like shuts down as if he can't handle that joy.
And then he goes, and then he just goes, and he's like, all right, I think I'm going to go now.
He like short circuits.
His eyes change color when like he realizes like, oh, this isn't like a person, this is food.
And even that's he's having fun. He's not being fearful, and that's what Pennywise feeds off of. He doesn't want to just eat you. He wants you to be kicking and screaming and terrified as he's eating you, because that's what he feeds on. There was apparently a lot. I was looking up what was cut from this movie. There is a scene that would have explained his origin that they were going to do, but they couldn't do because the special effects budget just wouldn't handle it.
Yeah.
There was another thing I really liked is when they finally started beating him down in the sewers. You really saw just how screwed he was. He was like, he was all disheveled, and he's sitting there, and he's just like laughing. And I thought it was weird when he fell down the thing. Like you kind of have an ambiguous thing, like a piece of him floats away. but then the rest of him
You
falls down.
That was one of my favorite details earlier on in the movie. Is the first time they actually do any damage to him when Bev like jabs that like, thing through his head. The blood floats. From yeah. And I saw that and I went, that's all. Like that's such a little like, hey, like if you notice, it's like a little mystery thing in there. It's like I love little shit like that. That makes it's like, oh, I want to see like what's going on.
That is interesting.
I didn't pick that up.
And even like
I noticed that too, but I didn't even think about it.
Even regardless of like meaning or whatever, like I just think like that's just a cool visual on its own.
Oh, dude,
just
totally
flowing up.
And there is did you notice the part where he's kind of pincering around and he has like that's a little bit of what his actual true form
really? Because I was going to say, because in that like final part, it was mostly him pulling out their fears, like the arms coming out of his mouth for Mike and yada yada yada. The art lady came out, which to me the art. Like the painting one, that was the scariest one.
Dude, that totally was.
I think it wasn't even because of like what it was entirely, but it was how they framed it in the actual surrounding. It was always like pitch black, and
just like, the morphed face.
The texture of the face almost still looked like paint to it. But that was what confused me though, is because then he does the crab pincer claws, and I'm like, wait, but who? Where did that? Like, whose was that?
I was just thinking,
but that's
like
cool.
An insect. Like,
see I don't know. I could tell. I know what happens in the end of the because it's weird. You can see his true form, but we can't comprehend his true form. Yeah. So we fill. I'm not gonna. But we fill in the blank with what we can comprehend. But I'm
like reminds me of Outlast podcast talking about like the fourth dimensional being
exactly
that you perceive as something. Yeah.
And dude, it's very. I did a lot of like digging into this after I saw the original It, just because I was very interested on it afterwards. I saw the part two. The part two wasn't as great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Like I said,
and that makes me skeptical of the next one. I think it'll still be all right.
See,
but I
think they set it up pretty well for it to be better.
They did.
The only reason I don't think the second one worked as well is because they didn't get a cast that fed off each other as well. Yeah. And the special effects budget and just the special effects for what you kind of wanted to do and needed to do just weren't there at the time. Yeah. So it's tough to it's really tough to pull off.
I think they could do after like a childhood like adventure story, I think going to adults dealing with like the same problem, I think a lot of people aren't going to enjoy it as much.
Yeah. I hear you. And who knows?
It could be better.
I could be better. We're definitely going to see it
late, pre-20s, late teens. Maybe they'll do it that way.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
But then again, it should be what
27 years. Yeah. So, and I'm interested because in. The second one too, what's his name? Mike is the one who stays back. So I'm wondering if in this next one, Henry's going to be the one who stays back because he was the historian guy.
Yeah.
I'm very just curious on how much the last one followed the novel and this one followed the novel because we were walking out and then he was like, "Oh, well, that wasn't the same as this," and I'm like, "Well, you don't know if that was right in the book or just that's just how they did it in the miniseries." Yeah. So it's very interesting stuff.
I love that it is set up for the next movie. But not in a way that this doesn't feel like a complete experience.
Totally. Like, it could end there. And that would be fine. Like
because I just watched The Matrix Reloaded, like, 2 weeks ago. Not at all that. It is cliffhanger.
The worst.
Get ready for the next one coming out later this year.
Yeah, be ready.
Rage Against the Machine plays. No.
Pull out your money right now.
Yeah, you can have sequels planned from the get-go, but you need each movie to be able to, like, stand on its own. Or else you just leave going like,
well, dude, this has been in, like, hell to get made. You guys know? Like, this has been in production, quote unquote, for 7 years.
It got like rewrites and
there was, it had some Japanese director, Karen Fukuhara, or something. She was originally going to be on it. It was a little bit less faithful, apparently. The new director came in and rewrote it to be a little bit more faithful.
This new director also did that movie Mama. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I have, but I never saw it.
Me neither. I did want to check it out.
I did too.
I heard it's like all right, but I definitely want to check it out now. I mean, it was awesome. So,
dude, it was, and I mean, I'm trying to think what else.
Real quick before you guys end it.
I mean,
I got just some stats for the opening weekend.
Oh I've been reading some of that. It's crazy.
It opened with 117 million weekend domestic, and it's the largest. It set the record for the largest September opening for a horror or supernatural film, with the runner-up being Paranormal Activity 3. In October of 2011 with 52.5 million.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking that shows you.
That's nuts.
That shows you the brand power of it.
Like, isn't this like the second biggest R-rated after Deadpool?
It could be, dude.
I thought I heard that too.
I could believe that. Yeah, but like movies are in like shit right now. Like nothing good is out.
Oh
It
yeah, for
hasn't
these
been.
this really, I knew this was gonna pick it up too when this was coming out. The pre-sales were insane. I remember buying our tickets like a week and a half ago. And I was
Yeah.
like, it wasn't full, but it was like
It was a
half
lot.
full.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, people are like actually getting ready to go see this.
I think the movie industry is like hurting right now anyway. So when you get something that like, even though it's still not an original property, it's an original take on an old property that isn't in the cultural zeitgeist anymore. Like people haven't been talking about it since the mini TV show, whatever, or mini TV movie came out.
And
So
I mean,
like,
but that's the thing. Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah.
Everyone sees Pennywise. No matter if you've seen the movie or not, you see that Pennywise face before, and you'd be like, "Oh, that's that clown from that scary movie," even if you don't know it by name.
Right.
and they did a good job on the marketing too.
Dude, they
I will say
totally
they
did.
Oh
a
yeah,
great
that
job.
trailer like got me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go see that. When it comes out.
I also think like the horror movie genre is shit.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
It's just tough.
and
It's
like
really
every
tough
time a
to make
horror
good
movie
one.
comes out, it's like it's gonna be crap. Who cares? Why are you gonna go see it?
I don't
Like,
think it's every time, but I think majority of the time that's fair to say.
Honestly, Get Out came out earlier this year. And
I heard that was
really-
awesome.
That,
I
That
still
didn't
need to
catch
check it
on
out.
until like a week or two after it came out.
yeah, but
I mean,
but
no,
still,
but
in
yeah,
terms of
yeah,
quality,
no,
yeah.
you're
I see what
right.
I will agree with you. Yeah, the quality outweighs the bad outweighs the good usually.
And
when
to
it
me,
comes
that's
horror
why I'm
movies,
kind of
but-
skeptical about how well it's doing. And I do think it's a good fun movie, but like I said, like it's not something I really think about much after the fact. Whereas like Get Out, I did have that moment, and Get Out was like a completely original concept.
See-
so I kind of want to root more for that. I want more.
No, totally, the
new
original-
things. But if you're gonna do a remake or a reboot,
Do it good. Yeah.
Do it really good. Do it for something that honestly deserves it. It hasn't been around for so long, and even the original stuff, you know,
Yeah.
it's still good, but
Totally.
like it's aged. So
100%.
yeah, don't do like I don't know.
Right, and that
It just
kinda,
depends
like,
on what you do.
I don't want to
nowadays.
keep trailing on here with this, but
No, we
that-
can, man. We don't have
It
anywhere
brings up like another
Plenty of time.
topic about aging of horror movies, like because
Yeah.
you know, like a lot of horror movie aspects
Yeah.
of it are special effects.
100%.
So like when a horror movie ages, and especially because you know we've seen such a crazy improvement in visuals and stuff.
Yeah.
What happens to the horror movies of today? When like it gets even more tech, like it's almost hard to imagine.
See,
And I
that's
wonder
what we're gonna
I wonder
get-
if like the movie watchers in the 80s and 70s and things, when you know some of the original horror movies were starting to come out, were also thinking that like how can it get any
I
better?
think
How can it get any like more real?
That's true, but this
Yeah.
stuff we are. I think we are hitting that. And then again, I don't know. This is me totally
Yeah.
speculating. I think we are kind of hitting that plateau of special effects to the point of like maybe you can get to the point of where we cross that uncanny valley and special effects look perfectly perfect.
Yeah.
Like I will say, a lot of people didn't think it was that great in Rogue One when they did Tarkin's face, and
that yeah.
it looked good.
I think
like,
Tarkin's was good. I think Leia's was not. Leia, I noticed.
see, yeah.
But I think that also comes with familiarity because if you ask me what Tarkin looked like, I would say who's Tarkin.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. That's my friend. Who
But
plays
if you ask me Princess Leia, like I know what Carrie Fisher looks like.
You know her. That's so true.
I think there was some CG and special effects in this movie that didn't work. I think a really cool scene is when Pennywise climbs out of the fridge and is all like contorted and stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool, but it was also like noticeably CG.
Was it though? I thought that was
I think
probably
there was
one
a
of the
little
better.
bit
I
of,
think it
like,
was noticeably
there was some
CG.
like jitter when like his body was
Yeah.
moving.
See,
that
but
didn't
like,
look,
I'm talking
didn't
when he
look
like is
smooth.
getting out of it. Once he's out of the fridge, then it's body acting, and then that's when I think. it
Oh,
looks
totally.
good.
I don't know.
But
But I
I
felt
think
like
him
when
getting
he
out-
actually, like when he sticks his arm out and then he kind of literally uncontorts himself,
Yeah.
that whole shakiness is him just literally readjusting,
Yeah.
and then it came back
I
around.
don't know. I thought it had
guess
some sort of CG blur to it. Didn't,
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's just
fair. No, and I will agree. Like when he does bite off Georgie's arm, that was a little rough.
Yeah.
But I think that just comes from budgetary issues, and this with the next one, I'd assume they'd get a little bit more money considering how much
And
money this did.
sometimes-
But I don't think that's a good thing necessarily.
And sometimes things not looking right adds to it. Like
Exactly.
when his mouth opens, that's like obvious. It's like noticeably.
It's an
CG,
unnatural-
but it's not
yeah.
something you naturally see anyway. So the fact that it's in the uncanny valley makes it more unsettling.
Oh, and it's the worst because like the way he bites, it's not even that he bites through. He bites and locks in you.
Yeah, it's like a
and then
surface,
he
like-
and rips. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that was messed up.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was awesome though when his arm like stretched out of the grate, and then grabbed
Yeah,
Georgie
that was
and
sick.
pulled. I was like, oh my god, he's shitting his pants. Like Georgie would be like.
The one other complaint that I had that I've honestly been the one complaint I've been thinking about a lot because I talked to Tim like right after we watched it about was there's that scene where they're in the shed watching the projector slides and then Pennywise comes out and he's huge, but the way it's edited it keeps cutting to black. Do you remember that?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like because like he comes out and it's like, oh my god, oh what's scary, and it's like him crawling and then cut to black for like a second and then back and then like, and I was telling Tim that I didn't like how that was edited because that felt like trailer editing, of hiding and doing these jump cuts and stuff. But then Tim pointed out the projector slide
was going
still
on and off,
and that's why the lighting did that.
Yeah.
So the fact that it has like an in-universe explanation made me go like, you know what?
That's actually fine.
I still don't like that editing, but
that's acceptable
you earned
now.
it. Like, you did it well.
That's true.
You know?
That's actually a really good point.
It was kind of like just a natural trailer effect.
Yeah.
Like, but there was also the unnecessary like droning bass during that as well, which is like, very trailery.
Yeah.
But then again, like that was shocking because I was totally unexpected.
That was the biggest, second biggest scare. I gotta say, biggest scare of the movie was when I'm sitting in the seat with my hands on my like on the sides of my laps. I accidentally pressed the button, and the whole thing just goes, and I was like, Jesus. But yeah, second biggest scare would be Pennywise coming out of the projector.
Honestly, one of my worst scares, it's terrible, was just like someone's down in the sewer and they're trying to, it's one of the kids, and then a head just floats up in his face.
Oh yeah.
And it just made me jump back in my seat.
That's gross.
There was he
there was some weird CG sticking on that with Eddie's fear of like the sickly leper guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was just weird.
That creeped me the hell.
It was scary,
I thought that looked all
like,
practical to me.
At some points when like it was actually when he drops the pills, a lot of the costume was still practical, but the face you can tell it was no.
I'd have to go back and
I'd have to go back and look at it.
I think that was my least favorite. Because that was literally just like, I mean, it depends on I guess what scares you, but to me that was just a guy and.
I think that was
that felt flat. But it was still, I still enjoyed it. Eddie was my favorite kid. I think Eddie was good. Like Richie's
all
funny.
His stuff was very.
I think Eddie was like hilarious.
The way him and his mom and shit. The payoff there was really good. Well, the way she's like, it's placebos, you idiot, and he's like,
gazebos.
He's like, Mom, they're fucking gazebos. Like the way he says it is so good.
Yeah, the parent stuff in that movie is kind of weird. Like I get that it's like they're part of the villain.
Well, the idea is that they're so absent. Then that's what allows Pennywise to get to them.
I can see that. Like, it just gets weird though because I feel like in this adaptation, when they are around, they're surprisingly evil.
Well, and I don't even get that.
And I almost wonder like to what end.
I don't even think that they're supposed to be evil. It's just they're bad parents. Like of course
the cop.
But I mean, the cop's just a dick.
And Bev's dad.
Bev's dad's the worst. But whereas like I think with Bill's parents, they're just neglectful idiots that just don't really care.
Honestly,
as much
I don't even remember seeing
exactly. That's the whole thing. They're just supposed.
You only saw the dad.
No, you saw the mom once when Bill's leaving. When Bill's leaving the house, she's playing the piano.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then that's it. I think the idea is that they're just so neglectful and out of his life that that's what allows them to do this.
That. I just think that's like. I think there's still points like I mean Bev's dad being like
he's a pedophile. There's supposed to be a book in the scene where he tries to like rape her in the book.
Yeah, and it just seems like that's kind of weirdly thrown in, but I guess I can see what point it serves. And then the same thing with like the cop dad to the bully kid. I see the point where it's like, oh, that's why he's a bully, but it almost feels so like
that's almost
kind of shoehorned in and like an afterthought. Because if you think about it, like you see the cop earlier on in the movie when the bully's like gonna bully a kid.
I didn't even realize it was his dad.
I didn't too until I was thinking about it today, actually.
Really?
And which is funny. I said I wasn't thinking about the movie, but clearly I'm still thinking about it. And we're gonna record this. Obviously, I'm thinking about it. But like you see him like kind of shoot the gun at his son's feet, and then like a couple minutes later, he's like the son already killed him. And then that's the end of that. And then, like, the bully ends up getting knocked down the well. I feel like a lot of that just kind of, like, happened.
Yeah, it just tumbles.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of that'll come at a price because you have so many different, like, I don't even want to say vignettes, but there's, like, you got these little different stories of these kids having their own fears within, so then you gotta make sure you get this kid in to do what he needs to do, and then this person to do what they need to do, and that's just gonna. I feel like it's gonna happen when you have so many moving pieces.
Yeah, I think vignettes is a good way to explain that.
Yeah,
but the theme overall, though, there's like every time you saw a parent in the movie, it was always negative.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was never like a good,
and that is the point of it.
And it felt like a combination of them wanting to stay true to the book, and then also just kind of like showing, like doing like again like Outlast, adding real horror to the fictional horror.
And that's the worst part because like.
Hey,
because
you're scared of the clown, but this is what's actually happening.
You're scared out of your house and you're scared in your house.
The clown's not going to get you this well.
They are the most weak, easy prey for Pennywise to prey upon.
Yeah.
Because their parents don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So who gives a fuck? Like, I'm just going to take them.
But I liked it. That was one of my few.
Also, what about like one thing I was thinking about for a while is why couldn't the dad see the blood in the bathroom?
Because only kids only kids can see it, and only people who like Pennywise says. Yeah, it's only children. Huh. There's an explanation. I can't remember the exact explanation, but basically only
children and then adults who have experienced Pennywise last time.
And so believe in him. Whoever believes in him can see him.
I imagine in the next one it'll be like all the kids in town will probably be able to see whatever shit's happening, and then the adults from this one.
Yeah, there's a scene in the second part of the original one where they're all at dinner and like there's eyes and they're like cookies and like shit like that, and they come up and they're like, what's going on?
Yeah,
and they're like nothing, everything's fine. But yeah, so I think the idea is only those who believe in him can see him.
Yeah,
and kids can already always see him, I guess is the idea, because he can
present because you're already like
I like that they actually floated in this. They're floating.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was probably one of the biggest like fun surprises for me, was that when you read that like tagline, like "You'll float too" or whatever.
Yeah.
I suspected it was like just
water because he's from the he's from the sewer.
That's just what I suspected.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then seeing I was that was just like mind blow.
Yeah.
Right,
what did you guys think of the like weird when his face opened up?
And there's the lights
inside. They're called dead lights.
Yeah, that's the thing.
John really liked.
John loved it, and he was
awesome.
like, I wonder what those are. And then I was looking into it, and like, there's an explanation in the book. Is it in the original movie too?
Yeah, it's in.
Yeah, they didn't touch on it though. They show it, but they don't explain it.
I'm assuming that's how he makes them float. Like that's the way that they. I want to explain it so.
I've also heard it like makes you go insane.
Exactly. The idea is that it makes you.
The bully kid sees it.
Exactly.
Is what I've heard.
That's
But I mean,
he sees it in the sewer in the first one of the Eddie Bowers kid. He plays the same basic role in the first one, but instead he just follows them into the sewers and ends up seeing the dead lights. Yeah. And the dead lights are how Pennywise copes you in and gets you to just sit. But yeah, it was really. Oh my god!
I just wish they did that instead.
What? Like when extrapolated more?
Yeah, like when he comes and finds them, instead of being thrown down the well in a way that would kill him. Maybe he's not dead though. I don't know. I wouldn't be.
I think I do know what they're gonna do, but I won't say it.
Yeah.
But they set up everything they needed to set up for and I love the end cap. It says Chapter 1. Yeah. It's not. They weren't marketing it as that. Yeah. At the end of the movie, you get to it. It says that.
Also, you and Super left before the credits. After the credits, it's not like anything substantial, but it's just it comes up again, and then you hear Pennywise laugh. Oh. There was like 5 people in the theater, like inclung me, John, and Tim, to hear that. It was like
the classic laugh.
Yeah. And I it was worth it to stay just for that. Damn. Also, the credit music was really good.
You gotta stop believing, man.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta stop.
Marvel,
you gotta stop this shit.
There's no.
Even if you don't know, even if you know, there's nothing at the end.
To me, what I do, all these people worked like years on this movie, like. I'm not gonna read every single name. But I'll sit here while they go past.
That's why I sit through credits in video games.
Yeah,
that's exactly why.
That's funny.
I might pull up my phone.
Get some respect.
I'm gonna be there. I'll pop in.
Some respect.
The music was good. The music was good.
Oh, dude, it was good. It was very ominous. Even like when the piano's playing when Georgie first leaves the house. That's just very ominous stuff.
There was some like licensed music in there too that I thought was like interesting. Like. I think you weren't crazy about it, but the song that plays when they're cleaning the bathroom.
Oh, I like that one too.
It's really like weird.
That I liked. But then there was also that song when like everyone splits up briefly, where like it's like an acoustic guitar and like someone's singing. That was like I don't know. Maybe I might not have just liked that song, but I don't know. That felt.
I can't remember it exactly, so I wish I could.
It was just like someone singing an acoustic guitar. Because I remember it was also when the one kid.
It didn't stick out to me.
The one kid was like at his bar mitzvah.
Oh.
Which to me, I think that's the kid who got the least amount of attention, in my opinion.
And I
felt like I knew nothing about him, and like, I think was not that invested.
Not to be like overly critical, but I think he might have not gotten as much attention just because he was a poor actor in comparison. I don't think he was that good.
I mean, I thought he was fine. I thought he was just I thought he was playing the part of the scared kid. Like he was the scared, the scaredy cat, quote unquote, of the troop. And I mean that will actually kind of. pay off a little more in the second.
That
it
was
sucks saying
the other thing.
second.
I think there was some overall just some weak acting in the movie. Not necessarily like this person's bad throughout. Just there was some moments where I'm like, that's not like good. Like I think when what is it, Bill?
Bill,
When when the first time he comes to like his shed and has all the stuff set up, trying to track out where like Georgie went, and his dad's mad at him. Yeah, that's like the only time you see his dad, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's
I don't think his dad was a good actor. I think he.
I liked him a lot.
I don't know.
Honestly.
I thought that scene, like,
all
I
worked
think
well.
he was fine.
I thought it worked well for me only because like I get like you guys are saying they're just evil people, but that's it. That's the idea. They're supposed like the parents there are just the worst. That's why Gary.
I think not even like character wise, I got it. I just think from a pure performance standpoint,
Really?
I don't think that was good. And there were some moments for other
fair.
people, but overall not like terrible. But like
I thought all the kids mostly hit it out of the park for me. Really, the girl who played Bev
she was good.
was so good.
Eddie was good.
Eddie was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, they really nailed who they really needed to nail.
Yeah.
Belch Huggins. What did they call him?
Just
New kid?
just Belch probably. Oh no, Henry. No, what was his name? The new kid was.
Henry.
Oh yeah, he's up.
Yeah, he
there.
was up
Oh, there was another Henry.
Yeah. Ben.
Oh, it's Ben.
Yeah.
Not Ben. Or not
Yeah,
Henry.
some of the
Yeah.
lines that Ben had.
Oh,
were
I'm
a
thinking
little
because Henry cut it.
Really?
cut
I
the-
thought he was.
I don't know.
I liked him the fat kid.
Yeah,
I
think
thought he
some
was
of-
awesome.
Some of his lines were a little weak.
With
he
the-
was like,
with the
he was
new
like,
kids
he had
on the
some
block
great,
stuff.
He had
Yeah, the
some
new kids
great
on the block
lines
stuff.
too, like this great scenes with like interactions with Bev too.
No,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I heard there was stuff with like the one bully Patrick who gets like caught in the sewer. I heard there was stuff in the book.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff with
Yeah.
that. There's like he gives him a. I'll tell you because it doesn't even matter. He gives him like a hand job. The Patrick dude gives what's his name Henry a hand job.
Yeah, and then like,
Huge just gives me this from all caps.
and then he like,
Yeah, because he's like weirdly
and then like the Henry guy like is like changes his mind and like punches him and leaves him there.
Yeah.
And then that's when he like I think there was definitely some things in the book that they.
And there was like a child. There was like an orgy scene.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Oh yeah.
There was another
yeah.
one that involved a
that you could leave out.
stool.
telling
Yeah,
me?
Wait,
there's
a
definitely
kid
But it did-
orgy?
yeah, like 10 and 12-year-olds.
Why?
Because Stephen
Stephen
King's
King,
a weirdo.
cocaine.
Dude, didn't he write a whole book on cocaine one time?
Cujo or something.
What?
Is that what it was? It was
I think so.
Cujo,
I think
yeah.
yeah.
He wrote Cujo all on cocaine.
Yeah.
Also,
Wow.
Wow.
he just loved...
Kid orgies, guys. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Well, I know that Maddie last night was telling me that there's a kid orgy in that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, there definitely
No,
wasn't.
there's a-
She was
no,
like, yeah, I heard that.
Well,
Yeah.
in the...
I was like, no.
But yeah, I think the
No, there
Patrick
isn't.
thing could have been left into like some regard, like maybe kissing instead of like hand jobs or whatever. But like,
Let me tell you,
I
there
just
was a
think
kid
that-
orgy.
I just think that like yeah, I think there's definitely there's a lot of
Just to
characters
make
that
it
I
even
feel
seem more... Yeah.
there's a lot of characters in the movie that I don't think got as much focus, and I imagine in the book they got that focus. Like Mike,
Totally, but I mean, even Stephen King, like I've read a little bit of it. I
Yeah.
picked it up. He goes into so much just detail.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very wordy, and I'm like, okay.
there's a lot of stuff
You could probably
Yeah.
summarize these 4 pages in a page.
Yeah.
And that's hey, some people might love that. I'm not putting it down.
Only
Totally
only
fine.
Stephen King I ever tried to read was The Dark Tower. I tried it like 4 times and I can't finish that book. Sorry, nerds, but I don't like
Sorry.
I don't like The Dark Tower.
I'd be pretty
Sorry.
interested in trying to read this book.
Dark Tower. Or it?
Yeah, I would want to check it out. I mean, the whole backstory behind Pennywise is super interesting, and that's where they're apparently heading hardcore into for the second part.
Cool.
Which is, I think, a good idea. I think it had a 2 hour and 15-minute runtime. It went pretty briskly for me.
Yeah, it did not feel.
It didn't like
long.
that. Like I got out of there and I was like, damn, that was long,
Yeah,
but it didn't feel long.
I mean, when you get like an adventure, it's easier to keep the pacing up. I
Of
think
course.
they did a great job, and I was like, wow, did not feel like I was there for that long.
I agree.
I can think of
the
movies
pacing
that-
was great. I did
way too
feel the
long.
length of it, but it wasn't
Yeah.
in a bad way.
Yeah,
I hear
it's
you.
just
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I can think of a lot of movies that overstay their welcome. and
dude,
this is not one. Of
I
them, so
remember-
that's cool.
Only movie I've ever walked out of and been like, when is this ending?
Yeah.
Was Transformers 4. I was like, what the? It's
Dude,
like,
I would have said the same fucking thing.
I
That
was like,
movie
it
was
was-
so fucking long.
I
It's
remember we
ridiculous.
saw it at 10 o'clock. It was like 1 in the morning. And I walk out of the theater and I'm like, what?
That doesn't even sound
When
like a
is it?
movie
When
you'd
is
go
this
for that
gonna
long.
end? And yeah, it finally ended at like 2. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
My big one is. I mean, we're getting off topic, but we're wrapping up. Anyway.
Yeah.
My big one is Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Really?
That movie is 3 hours long for what should be a 2-hour movie. Cut that last hour out.
There's a lot of movies that could take some cues from just
Yeah.
a little
Short
shorter of
and
a
sweet.
runtime.
I'm a short and sweet guy.
Yeah.
Keep it as low as you can.
Yeah, but overall, I'd say go see Pennywise.
Definitely.
Go see It. You'll float too, of course.
Yeah.
We're all
Everyone
gonna
floats.
float.
Very good.
What
We'll
if
all
we
float on,
just start
all
floating
right.
up?
We'll all float on okay.
But any other late thoughts? Skarsgård was perfect. One thing I did want to say. I was telling him this. Did you ever see We're the Millers?
No.
What else? Have you ever seen?
He's in like some other.
He's in some other stuff.
He plays a couple serious
young kid?
roles.
Yeah, he's the young kid.
Yeah, I know
He
him.
was supposed to play Pennywise.
He gets his balls
He's in,
in by
they-
the spider.
I
He's
could-
in Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could
Skarsgård?
not see that.
What? No, the guy.
Honestly, if you showed me a picture of his face versus Skarsgård and was like, which one's Pennywise, I would have been like, that guy's like that.
Yeah,
that
see,
kid
I
is
think
more
it's
So
likely.
young though.
Oh,
more
I
likely
agree.
to be
I agree.
Pennywise.
Oh.
And I mean, this went through so many different
Oh yeah, that's
like iterations, but I think they
That's
ended
really
on the right
interesting.
thing. They overall a very strong, good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go see it. Even if you're not a big horror person, I think there's some scares, there's a tiny bit of gore, a very tiny bit of gore,
Yeah.
if in my opinion.
yeah.
It's worth a watch.
I'd say overall, I'd give it a solid 8.5. I think it was good, but I mean,
I think
overall,
I'm an 8-7.
for
give it like a
for a horror movie though, I think 10 out of 10. That was like
I agree.
the best
Yeah, no,
horror
I had a
movie
great time.
experience. Yeah.
That's a fair assessment for me. But anyways, I think that about wraps us
Yeah.
up here.
yeah,
Joey?
that's good.
Stealing Trio's job yet again.
Yet again.
Thanks you guys for watching the Delco Nerd Network.
That's it.
You can find thanks for watching Delco Nerd Network. You can find us at our Facebook page, facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network. You can find us on Twitter at Delco Nerds. You can also find us Instagram, same handle, Delco Nerds. You can check out our YouTube, youtube.com/Delco Nerd Network. And just make sure to like, follow, subscribe, smash that like button, please.
Oh,
For more content just like this. We'll see you next time, folks. Stay nerdy.
jam.